I guess I'd like to start off talking about you individually as an artist. You know what you're trying to do artistically, how you see yourself, and what you how you do it.
Well, I guess I basically fancy myself as a storyteller and, you know, kind of a bit of a night watchman or a private investigator, you know. I sleep with one eye open and you know, I write and about the things I see around me.
I was reading an article with Rickie Lee Jones, and she was saying that you have become that person. You know, at first it was more of an observation, and you became that character that you talk about in your songs through living it, through having to live it as an artist. Do you relate to that?
Yeah, well, she's right. it's, it's a dangerous business, you know. It's, I don't know. It's like I was saying before. It's kind of like a photographer going to a wedding and ending up married. You're bound to get a little on you. You know, you go poking your nose in down the wrong street. I'm as far as being a character in my own stories. I remain in all of the stories, but at the same time, I think the creative process is like it's like gumbo. It's a combination of imagination and experience and memories, and so by the time the story is finished or the song is finished, it may or may not resemble where the story came from.
Oh man. Do you write poetry a lot, or do you see very many poets or contemporary poets around the country now?
No, I don't get out much. I'm working all the time, and I'm doing one-nighters and leaving after the gig and getting into town in the afternoon and going to a sound check, and so I don't really go out to clubs much. When I get some time to myself, I usually could use about 12 hours of sleep. And so that's just the way it is. When I'm home, I go out to clubs sometimes, but if there's somebody in town I want to see. But when you work, in theaters and clubs all the time, when you get a couple of nights off, you usually don't want to go out to a club. You kind of want to, lay around and watch television.
Well, with all these things you're doing, that's a hell of a lot of time. How do you deal with it? You don't get much sleep, I don't imagine. You don't get much time to do what you want to do. What happens?
Yeah, I find time when I'm home, to try and relax. It's, build up a great deal of anxiety on the road that you have to kind of learn how to unwind when you get back home,
Back home is L.A., right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you have any philosophies or any tenets about writing, about composing, about your looking at things, the way you see things and you interpret them, put them down on paper? Is there any kind of tenets you have?
Yeah, never sleep with a girl named Ruby and never play pool with a guy named Fats.
Well, your new album, when do you anticipate recording that and producing it?
Well, it was I had to postpone it because I came on the road, and originally I was going to title it White Spades, and I had a little difficulty convincing my record company that it was a palatable and merchandisable title. So I changed it to On Heartattack and Vine, and they bought that. And I'm gonna go in the studio in December and record. Yeah. And then I'll go back out on the road again. I'm going to Japan and Europe and Australia. And yes, I'm a busy man. Yeah.
If there was one historical figure that you could have been, looking back, now who would that figure be, do you think?
Who would I like to be? Who do I want to be when I grow up? You mean? I don't know. I don't know. Who would I want to be if I could be anybody other than myself? You know. Yeah, I don't know. Castro, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Andy Granatelli. You know.
What did you do when you were younger? Can you talk about your childhood a little bit? How you got into music and poetry, and was there any one startling revelation that hit you one day, and you realized that you had a vision, and you had to find that vision?
No, it was nothing like that. Nice try. Wasn't nearly as romantic as that, you know. I just kind of narrowed it down. There wasn't anything else that I wanted to do, you know. Everything else looked real unattractive to me. You know.
Baseball.
You know, fireman, you know, baker, policeman, you know. I'm a living, breathing example of success without college, you know. I had a normal childhood. My father is a teacher, and my mother is also a teacher. They split up when I was about 10 years old, and then I kind of became the man of the family, you know. And, you know, worked a lot of jobs. When I was 14, I started working, and when I was 16, I got a car, you know. I started, you know, staying out after dark a lot, you know. Still.
What doing?
Huh?
What doing?
Oh, you know.
Well, listen, hey man, I appreciate you coming along. This is the second time around, and
Yeah.
this guy's a hell of a guy for doing this again. Really,
All right.
I appreciate it. Okay, take care. I appreciate it. Here, you might as well finish this up here. I mean, I'm not gonna take this stuff left on the bottom here. Well, there was all those miners out in the audience today.